government's contract with middleman Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum to supply the country with Sputnik V vaccines has been terminated. Addressing the parliamentary committee investigating the contracts, Kweku Ajiman Menu said the businessman wrote to his outfit on Wednesday to terminate the contract. He revealed that Sheikh Maktoum's reason for the decision was because he is struggling to raise vaccines. The government signed a purchase contract for 3.4 million doses of the vaccine after it received an initial 15,000 doses from Sheikh Al Maktoum on Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. According to the minister, Sheikh Al Maktoum had brought the initial consignment to demonstrate the availability of the commodity. However, the suppliers decided to withdraw from the contract after several attempts to get the vaccine from the manufacturers yielded no result. My brother, this is how a 419 government behaves. Criminal government. The taxpayers' money is at their disposal. So they are plundering, throwing the money left, right, and center. Let's get into the content. Here, my brother, when you go to a juju man, fake juju man who tells you he can make you make money, what does he do? He first gives you what? Proper currency. And tells you, oh, this is what I've been able to make. Bring this amount of money and I give you 20 times this. And when you provide that, you don't find them anymore. How different is this sheikh from those malams? My brother, my sister, hear me. Now, health minister is saying that 15,000 doses of the vaccine came to Ghana via the relationship with Sheikh Al Maktoum. And for that matter, it was enough trust, my brother, my sister, to dole out Ghana's money to Sheikh Al Maktoum, a middleman, to provide close to 4 million doses. 15,000 is enough trust, is enough guarantee to dole out money for close to 4 million vaccines. Let's break it down into Ghana money. Somebody gives me 15,000 Ghana cedis and tells me, oh, you see, I gave you this. Pay me the money and I can give you about 4 million Ghana cedis. And because of 15,000, you dole out so much money and give out to this fraudster. My brother, my sister, let's get serious now. This one was blown because of a foreign press house that revealed this information. Now, you all remember when the journalists abroad, I think Norway, came out with this information, my brother, my sister, and ridiculed the whole country, Ghana, that listen, Ghana is paying so much money to fraudsters from the UAE so they can get vaccine from Russia. Hear this. Ghana is a whole country that is respected around the world by the kind courtesy of Kwame Nkrumah and some other wonderful people. So we have that credibility. No matter what we do, the credibility and the hard work and the sacrifice of Kwame Nkrumah would always overshadow our foolishness. Everywhere you go in the world, everybody is talking about Kwame Nkrumah, because he selflessly led this country and laid down his life to see this country go where it's supposed to go. We betrayed him and sent him into an early grave. But my brother, my sister, his blessing continues to be with us. We have that credibility and the love from around the world, from both white and black and even yellow. Now you go to UAE and pick up criminals who are on the wanted list of the world, my brother, my sister, and you start doling out money to these people just because they gave you 15,000 doses of Sputnik V. 15,000. For that matter, it is enough guarantee for you to trust them and dole out the country's money so that they go and blow away. Thank you so much to the foreign press that blew the whistle on this caricature contract. Now, when this message came out, my brother, my sister, hear what happened. My brother, my sister, quickly, what happened? It made Ghanaians understand that, hey, listen, our money is being doled out to criminals from the UAE. And Ghanaians started talking. Shamelessly, health minister was so embarrassed. And now he has come out to say that, oh, the people withdrew the contract. Does not even have the decency and the respect to tell us, oh, because of what came up, we apologize to you, and for that matter, we have decided to cancel the contract. He is saying that the criminals rather cancel the contract. Ghana, as a whole country, does not have the credibility to walk up to Russia and say, hey, we need Sputnik V vaccine. They have to go through criminals in the UAE and buy the vaccine at twice that the amount. Hey, the way Ghana is behaving, it makes me feel like we have too much money to blow away. Well, we thank you. Thankfully, these criminals have been sidelined, and we hope and pray that these people will now put on their thinking cap and represent the good people of this country. If a whole country, Ghana, cannot walk up to Russia or to the WHO and say, we need this amount of vaccines here, we are ready to pay, this is the money. But rather, criminals have more credibility than Ghana in the eyes of Russia. My brother, this is terrible for a country. How many people understand? I'm glad that this is over now. I'm glad that Sheikh Al Maktoum and his criminal gang can now go away and leave this country in peace. Whoever deals with a criminal is a criminal too, right? What health minister should have done was to come to us, shedding tears on his knees and begging for forgiveness for disgracing this country and throwing this country into a state of ridicule. Do you know how many people laughed at us? We were the only people in the world who were this ignorant and very, very silly to go after criminals to go get a Sputnik V. Is this not worse than money laundering? You close people's banks left, right, and center that they were doing money laundering. Yet the state is a bigger money launderer. I leave it here. My brother, my sister, we have interesting things. So this is at the Ministry of Health. This criminal activity, better still, this near criminal activity, my brother, my sister, was uttered by the Ministry of Health. Now let's leave out the Ministry of Health and go to the Ministry of Education, and you will see that this is a sleeping government that must not be respected at all. Nana Akufo-Addo has disgraced this country, disgraced himself, and made this country a big ridicule in the eyes of the international world. And I'm going to prove it in a second. Hear this. Now, this is the Ministry of Education, and I'm reading this from City Newsroom. It says, Education Ministry terminates contract for supply of mathematical sets. Can you join them? The first one was Ministry of what? Health. Oh, they have now cancelled the contract, or better still, the criminals from UAE have cancelled the contract with Ghana so shamelessly. Now it is the Ministry of Education. They have cancelled a contract. What contract is it? Listen. Education Ministry terminates contracts for supply of mathematical sets. I read. The Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Educhum, has informed Parliament that the contract awarded to Blakk Rasta Group Limited for the supply of CAPEC scientific mathematical instruments has been terminated for breach of contract. According to the minister, the contract was terminated as a result of non-performance on the part of the supplier and was done in line with Section 24(1)(a) of the General Conditions of Contract. Mr. Educhum made the revelation when he appeared before the House to respond to a question from Dr. Clement Apak, Member of Parliament for Bulsa South. Let me read one more paragraph and I'll leave it there. Dr. Apak wanted to know from the minister if Bluegrass had supplied nearly 900,000 units of CAPEC math sets to the Ministry of Education at an estimated cost of almost 64 million Ghana cedis at a unit cost of 75. Hear this, my brother. Bluegrass Group Limited was supposed to supply mathematical sets, CAPEC mathematical sets, scientific mathematical instruments, right? Math sets, and each one was supposed to cost 75 Ghana cedis. First and foremost, you ask yourself, was it made of gold or was it a diamond math set? 75 Ghana cedis for one. Bluegrass was supposed to supply this nearly 900,000, almost a million, my brother, my sister, mathematical sets to schools. My brother, my sister, the schools waited and waited. They needed a mathematical set for their final examination. No, it did not happen. The students went into the examinations without the mathematical sets. Finished the examination and even came home, still no mathematical sets. But ask yourself, who is Bluegrass Group Limited? Hear this. We try to make it as simple as possible so that you can follow. Now, this one was published on the 14th of February 2021, and this is my news GH. It says, CEO of Bluegrass Limited, Kojo Dakumensa Onassis, arrested, detained. That's the CEO. Who is he? Listen. The Chief Executive Officer of the Bluegrass Group Limited, Kojo Dakumensa, popularly referred to as Onassis, has been arrested by officials of the National Investigations Bureau, NIB, to assist in an ongoing investigation as a suspect. MyNewsGH.com can confirm. The NIB, formerly the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, arrested the businessman who is a non-sympathizer of the ruling New Patriotic Party, NPP, to assist in investigations over a very serious matter. Mr. Dakumensa Onassis is the local agent of an international company, Cornfield Group Limited, which was mandated in 2019 to deliver a total of 853,000 pieces of mathematical sets at a cost of 75 Ghana cedis per unit by the Ministry of Education in September 2019, which was neither delivered or scheduled or in full. My brother, my sister, he never delivered it. He is a sympathizer of the NPP. A contract was given to him. He took the contract, took the cash, sat on the money, said nothing about it. Everywhere was quiet. Nobody questioned him. My brother, it took only one MP to ask him. And who did the MP ask? The then Minister of Education. The Minister of Education, Matthew Prempeh, who said that Nana Addo has done better than Nkrumah. The same Matthew Prempeh who said that Nana Addo had done far, 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 far better in terms of education than Kwame Nkrumah. The same Matthew Prempeh came back again and told us that The speed with which Nana Addo was building roads and so on and so forth, Nkrumah could not be compared. Remember, they also talked about the number of factories Nkrumah built and the number of factories that Nana Addo built, and they said that the Nana Addo factories, my brother, my sister, far outnumbered Nkrumah's factories. And ex-President Kufuor also came in to join the folly. What did he say? Oh, Nkrumah rushed us into industrialization. That's why Ghana is suffering today, forgetting that he paid illegal monies to his own wife and denied J.J. Rawlings his right as an ex-president to some basic things. Hypocrisy. All hypocrites with no respect for decency. All hypocrites, no respect for decency. You are paying illegal monies to your wife. Ex-President Rawlings, common courtesy that was supposed to be given to him, Kufuor refused. The day Rawlings died, he was there filing past his body as to what he was saying. Only God. If I was the family of Rawlings, I would never have allowed Kufuor to go there. These are the hypocrites we have in the system, and it's so terrible. The man is alive, you are his worst enemy. He dies today and you are his best friend. What kind of attitude is this? Think about it, brethren. Think about it. Matthew Opoku went for his vetting and he was asked about the mathematical set. He said he didn't know anything about it. He tried to blame it on his assistant and said he didn't know Onassis from Adam. How did he get the contract? Did he go through the due process? What happened to the mathematical sets that we paid for our children in the school? He had no idea. Minister of Education. Oh, there was a contract to give out mathematical sets to students. What happened? No idea. My assistant, I think my assistant was the one who signed that contract. So you don't know anything about it? No, not at all. I've never even met the Onassis guy. I don't know him. Has he supplied? I may have to find out from my assistant. I don't know. Assistant comes and he says, no, it's not been supplied. Matthew Opoku is now a minister of another department or ministry. And the new education minister is now handling it. The criminal who couldn't supply the mathematical sets, my brother, my sister, has finally confessed that he can't. So they have cancelled the contract. Can you see that? Can you see that? They give contracts to criminals. Criminals, both international and local. Criminals. UAE criminals. Go and bring us Sputnik V. We have the taxpayers' money cheaply in front of us, so we blow everything. After all, the president now baths in the skies. After all, the president now has his lunch and supper in the skies. After all, any building that the president has to put up here must have an Israeli stone as the foundation. The God of Israel. Hear this. Look at the mess. When you read the story further, it's even more embarrassing. In fact, it says, through that the 2020 WASSCE, however, no student received the mathematical sets from the government. Not even one. And when the vetting came up, Matthew Opoku was like fish out of water, blaming his assistant. Who signed the contract? My assistant. I didn't even know Onassis. Today, Onassis took all the money, as we were told in the write-up, and supplied nothing. Criminal investigations had to catch him and investigate him. Why did you take money and you did not supply the mathematical sets? Alarm is blown. How many more such contracts have been signed by this dirty government and nobody has been able to catch them? Dirty deals, dirty deals all over the place, dirtiness, dirty deals. And when they are caught, they quickly come out and say, we will refund. Refund what? After refunding, you should be punished. Anyway, are you refunding the money with interest or without interest? Who loses? The taxpayer. Sure. I'll leave it here. I'm going to tackle the next thing. My brother, we have so many interesting things to discuss, and I'm going to hear me. Now, this one is taken from Peace FM Online, and this was also published today, the 15th of July. It says, I swear by the heavens, Parliament never discussed nor approved alawa for first and second ladies. And this is coming from a Blakk Rasta in Parliament. He's swearing by the heavens that the first and second ladies' allowance or salary, whatever they call it, was never brought to discuss in Parliament and was never approved. So where is that information? Where is that discussion? Where's that rhetoric that, it was approved? I read. It says, Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Honorable Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, has emphatically stated that the House neither discussed nor approved salaries and allowances for presidential spouses as being bandied about. According to him, members of Parliament were not even provided with a copy of the Professor Ntiamo Bedu report to peruse. I'll leave it here. A committee says, hear this hypocrisy. Nanado's government is a government of hypocrites. It's a government of hypocrisy. Hear this. A committee sat, decided that as to who formed that committee, you all know. As to who was made up of that committee and why, you know. The committee sat and decided that let's blow the taxpayers' money. Let's give the president's wife this amount of money. Let's give the vice president's wife this amount of what money. And it was never taken to Parliament. Nanado's government takes it because it favors it. It swallows every letter in it, hook, line, and sinker. Let me juxtapose this. My brother, when the elections happened, the people were shot. MPs were slapped left, right, and center. Innocent people were gunned down. My brother, my sister, ayawa so wagon. A committee sat down, headed by one of the finest lawyers in Africa, Emil Short. The Emil Short Commission sat on this and made recommendations. Hypocritical government took the recommendations and on TV live announced that, look, A, B, C, D, we accept. But C, D, E, F, we will never take. We don't agree. We don't like it. You all saw it, right? When it favors them, when it favors their greed, when it favors their appetite for greed, it's okay. They will take the commission and quote it 1 million times a minute. But once it does not favor them, forget about it. Commission brings it out. It didn't go to Parliament, as said by a Blakk Rasta here, and already we are paying them. We are even backdating to 2017. Now, Parliament says we have to pay them 20. In 2017, we paid them 10. So the balance of 10 will pay from 2017 all the way till now. Why? What have we done to you? You only take things that favor your greed. And what does not favor you, you throw back into our faces, having wasted money on commissions and committees. I leave it here. My brother, my sister, there are so many more things we need to discuss. And I need you guys to open your ears as we discuss every single thing. My God have mercy. There's this other one which is quite sensitive, but we have to look at it. It says, I sheepishly. It means like a sheep. I sheepishly. naively trusted Akufo-Addo. He conned me into job. My only regret in life, says Martin Hamidu. You need to hear the headline again. And this is on Peace FM Online, published today, the 15th of July, 2021. It says, I sheepishly, naively trusted Akufo-Addo. He conned me into job. My only regret in life, says Martin Hamidu. Listen, Martin Hamidu is an old man, 60 years plus. He says all his 60 years plus on earth, his only regret is not when he said something bad to his wife, or something bad he did to his children, or to any other friend, but to allow Nana Addo to con him into a job. Let me read the first two paragraphs. Former Special Prosecutor Martin Hamidu has said, the only regret I have in life is to have trusted President Nana Akufo-Addo in such a sheepish manner as to have allowed him to have called me into agreeing to be his special prosecutor in a naive but sincere belief on my part that he was what? Grammatical slip. He was bent, let me put in my own word, he was bent on fighting corruption and was also against using the process of criminal justice. I'll leave it here. You can get the import, right? My brother, my sister. Martin Hamidu embarrassed himself. He had a lot of respect before he joined this race. When he was coming in, many were those who jubilated. Remember when I called his village chief from Sandema on this show live, and how the chief bragged and boasted about the prowess and ability of Martin Hamidu. In fact, he just fell short of saying criminality had ended with Martin Hamidu being the special prosecutor. Even members of the MPP were wetting their pants like they had a weak bladder. A lot of them became red, like red ketchup. They were so frightened that Martin Hamidu was coming in to whip them all into line. But he came in and he was more than a zombie. He did nothing, disgraced himself, made himself nothing before everybody, took the insults of the people, and left that office without a single achievement. Those of us who had tons of respect for him, in fact, lost everything. But today, he has accepted that he was conned. He has accepted that he behaved sheepishly in his own ways. What did Martin Hamidu do? Next to nothing. First, he wanted 1 million air conditioners in his office. He wanted a jacuzzi. He wanted this, he wanted this. When Ghanaians even provided a list of people they thought were corrupt or were dealing in money laundering. But that list did nothing for Martin Hamidu. He entered into that office with so much hopes. He left it hopeless. Today, he has come out to say that he failed. He shouldn't have allowed himself to be sheepishly led to the slaughter by a con man, Nana Addo. Why do we say Nana Addo is a con man? If Nana Addo actually wanted to fight corruption, with all respect, Mr. President, all Ghanaians would have seen that. What happened to Domlevu? And now I'm hearing that the boss of Iyoko that Nana Addo has brought in is 77 years old. Have you read that thing? I read it somewhere this morning that there's a new boss of Iyoko and he's 77 years. Nana Addo has sent home an anti-corruption soldier that we could trust, the people that he claims is serving, Domlevo, just because he said he had gone past 60 years. 60. Now he has brought in a man who is 17 years older than the man he retired. Nana Addo himself is 17 years older than the man he said was tired and needed to go home and rest. Oh, what a paradox. A 77-year-old man is retiring 60-year-old people, claiming that they are too old and too tired to work. Therefore, they must go and sit home and rest. Yet, 77-year-old, 17 years, the senior of the retirees, he is still active. Why would he not demand 2 bedrooms in the air? Why would he not want to have a shower in 2 different bathrooms in the sky? Why would he not give your money to his wife? Why would he not give your money to his 2 vice president's wife? As for Bawumia, he's the biggest comedian of a vice president this country has ever had. I used to think that he was coming in with a certain ability and fire. We all celebrated him, very eloquent, very young and very active. But he has sold the people, sold them out like chicken. He is the Judas of this government. Judas, going around kissing all of us, the taxpayer, and leading us to be crucified. Somebody won't understand this till he reads the Bible tonight. The Judas of this government is Bawumia. Nobody trusted Nana Akufo-Addo because of his past lies. But when Bawumia came on the trail, fresh, with a lot of experience, we didn't know him in politics. He came in with the fire, with his so-called economics. A lot of people were swayed and believed that, hey, there was a new Messiah coming in with the whip. No. And when he came, in no time, he fizzled out. In no time, he became a comedian worse than Mr. Bean. He graduated from the University of Comedy. And now he's a professor in comedy. And his comedy is not even, my brother, my sister, hilarious. The other day I saw somebody saying so much on social media how he's been disappointed by Bawumia. And I just laughed and said, oh, so I'm not the only one. Well, you still have the opportunity to redeem yourself. If I were Bawumia, I would never even try to be the flag bearer of this NPP. Go back to wherever you were working. Go back to the Muslim community and apologize to all of them for what you've done to. They believed that you were coming to do something. Nothing. As for the average Ghanaian, they lost interest in you long before you even, was rejected by the Muslims. I leave it here. Now, more interesting things are coming up. And my brother, my sister, oh my God. Now there is something here that you need to look at. Oh my God. Alban Bagbin has spoken. Who is Alban Bagbin? He's the Speaker of Parliament. And look at the interesting scenario. Young as Alban Bagbin may be, my brother, my sister, he was competing against a man who was 80 plus. A man who couldn't even come out of his car. With all respect, I love that man. But I was so disappointed that Mike Okoye, that's his name, right? Mike Okoye, Professor Mike Okoye, still wanted to be the Speaker of Parliament at his age. 2 people had to always be with him anytime he was coming down from his car, because he couldn't on his own. They would have to hold him for him to come out of the car. In fact, producer, if you can put up that photograph or that video of Mike Okoye being held to come out of his car, still competing to be the Speaker of Parliament. Why do we have greedy old men all over us? People that we respect and love so much. Then all of a sudden they become so greedy. Dirty greed. A man cannot open his own car and come out. We have to use the taxpayers' money to get 2 people to carry him out of his car, like Paul Biya in Cameroon, and take him into the Parliament House, put him on his chair for him to sit down and say, yeah, yeah. Why? Michael Quay. So when Bagbin won, we all were happy. And even that, we saw the political gymnastics that happened right there in the Parliament House. People picked up ballot papers and started chewing that like brodo, like tea bread. Check, check, check. Embarrassing their whole progeny. What a shame in Ghanaian politics. Whilst the voting was going on and the ballots were being counted, one side realized that they were going to lose, and all of a sudden somebody seized the ballot papers so that they would not be counted and started chewing them like tea bread. Carlos. They love politics more than they love God. They love politics more than they love humanity. Well, Bagbin won at the end of the day, and he became the Speaker of Parliament. Today, listen to what Bagbin is saying. You can't just say anything because you are an MP. Bagbin fumes at Kennedy Ejapong. Bagbin fumes as Kennedy Ejapong is referred to Privileges Committee. I take that again. You can't just say anything because you are an MP. Bagbin fumes as Kennedy Ejapong is referred to Privileges Committee. I read. Hear me. Jesus Christ. It says, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin has cautioned MPs to be mindful of their utterances outside the floor of Parliament. He says the immunity MPs enjoy when they speak on the floor does not extend to the media or to the marketplace. The Speaker on Wednesday referred Asin Central MP Kennedy Ejapong to the Privileges Committee for threatening to beat Love FM's Erastus Asaridonko. The directive issued by the Speaker on Wednesday will enable the House to decide if the actions of Mr. Ejapong breach the orders of Parliament, and if so, recommend appropriate sanctions. This is not the first time Kennedy Ejapong has appeared before the Privileges Committee. I think that some of our MPs that we voted into power now think that they have grown bigger than MPs. They think that they are gods, so they should be worshipped. It's the same Kennedy Ejapong who said, now MPs are so cheap. It is so cheap to be an MP. That is why some MPs were behaving the way they were behaving. You all remember that? What happened to the MP who said that some MPs are taking bribe? What happened to Bagbin himself saying on the floor of Parliament, my brother, my sister, how some MPs had received bribe? Bagbin himself today, he's the Speaker of Parliament. Did he not say on the floor of Parliament that some MPs had taken bribe? Do you all remember that utterance? So everything you say, my brother, grows. It metamorphoses like that, growing, and changing colors like the chameleon until the cup is full, and the public will make its mind about your institution. You vilified it yourselves. Kennedy Ejapong is the worst culprit. His utterances, in fact, fall short of an MP. I'm sure he would have done better as not an MP. Some of the utterances, some of the things, the allegations, some of which he has even lost in court. Look at the allegation against Kweku Baakun. And what did Kweku Baakun say about Kennedy Ejapong? That he's empty. You remember? How many times has Kennedy Ejapong said things that he goes to court and it's all empty? Nothing. He His biggest arsenal, my brother, my sister, is blackmail. You do something and he gets angry with you. He comes on his TV and he shows a picture of you sleeping with a dog. Oh, a picture of you sleeping with somebody's wife. As if that is what pays the tax. My tax money is stolen by thieves. My tax money is what the president uses to fly in the air and bath in the skies and eat chichinga in the skies. And you come and show me pictures of who is having sex with whose wife. How does that increase my tax? How does that build roads for me? My brother, my sister, some of the things are obnoxious, so nauseating. But people have become demigods. You can't talk about them. You talk about them, and gunmen are all over your house, as if they would not die one day. I've never seen a killer who has not died. Ultimately, everybody would bite the dust. It's better to live short and make an impact than to live long and make no impact. What do you think? Everybody wants to live so long. Eventless life is a useless life. Hey, this is too deep for some people to understand. Teach, my brother. Hey, I am saying that an eventless long life is a useless life. When they are talking about your 80 years on earth, it's nothing. No. Me sorry. Na ma kofuom, na ma koye ya, me ba, na ma bebe wo me fufo, na ma di, na ma da. Sa me kofuom, na ma koye juma kakra, me ba, na ma wo fufo, na ma di, na ma da. Sa de biya, sa de bi de mine obi ani chi ye. It's a useless life. What have you done to impact on society? Were you brought down to come and eat fufu and sleep and die? You were brought to be able to contribute to this life. Me de mi pe mi wasemo, me de mi nya sa ni pono, debi me de mi de pe mi wasemo, me de mi oyani o, me de mi pepi pragro, yes ana uti mi tuma go mi pe. Hey! If Kwame Nkrumah had behaved like you assholes, this country would have still been in the hands of the colonial master. Say Kwame Nkrumah subaya. No owo fufuo odi na wada o sorry na wakofuom na odi banchin bi aba na wawo fufuo na wadi na wada oye no sa de bianka by now wadani abo bi na yetwon me e di uko slaughterhouse ye ko twa ukom. Jesus have mercy. Think, my brother. It behoves everybody to stand firm and contribute, no matter how small, the generation, or else God created you for nothing. You are a useless soul. Nobody is a demigod. Kennedy Japan, I admire, but I think he would have been a better person than an MP. The utterances sometimes are so nauseating. He goes to court and he's not able to prove anything. Prove nothing. Just putting the fear of God in people. I leave it here. I hope that the Privileges Committee, the way they handled my issue, would handle this issue better, because times have changed. When it came to my time, my turn to go to the Privileges Committee, they flexed their muscles like King Kongs. That guy, he talks to him, I will show him. Yeah, people, MPs went to the gym to raise metal so they will get muscles and come and fight one man. It's time to fight one of your own. A lot of you make nauseating utterances, not befitting of your status. I hope Backbin cracks the whip properly. You have disgraced the Parliament House. Laws and things that you guys are in there, oh my God, called honorables. Ghanaians are losing confidence. Please clean up your house. I leave it here. Alassane Souyini is also saying that he hopes that Kennedy Japan case at the Privileges Committee will be handled good. Where's Ahmed Swale? He's dead and gone. Killers cannot be found. We don't know if ghosts were those who came to kill Ahmed Swale or not. In broad daylight on the streets, pine. Young boy dead and gone. His wife and children at the mercy of the universe. All because an MP sat on TV, showed his photograph, and made nauseating remarks, and claimed that he would pay if that guy was beaten up by people. Well, he took a beating, but it became fatal. Has he paid? Let a spade be called a spade. Speak truth to power. That is the only way we'll be able to have a better country. Don't fear rich people. Respect them and love them, but they are not gods. If you follow rich people, go to ministries. They are all sitting there like goats and sheep, waiting for Honorable to come and give them 2 pesos. Especially the northern MPs. Go to their offices and see the number of people who sit there. Go to Ibrahim Muhammad's house. From morning. My brother, it looks like there's a recruitment exercise going on. Everybody, once you pass the wallahi, Allah, wallahi, that's it. Is there more poverty in the Zongo than any other place? And the sad thing is that a lot of these people who follow the so-called honorables, my brother, my sister, they only take pittance. Something drop, kakra. They are not there to tell honorable, please, I need a job. No. Me pe kakra di in there, and he will eat. After morning salah, subahi, he's up. He's going to honorable's office because he doesn't want honorable to come and pass and he doesn't see him. Then he's sitting down there. When honorable is passing, wallahi, honorable, wallahi, honorable, kaide, wallahi, Allah, Allah baraka, wallahi, Allah kiyaye, wallahi, Allah kiyaye ka, wallahi, like is wallahi, Allah, wallahi, all over the place. What is happening to the Zongo? What is the office of the chief imam doing for the Zongo? Can we have the chief imam's office rise to a certain point where everybody living around the Zongo and owes allegiance to the chief imam in terms of the religion contribute something small? Oh, this is our chief imam. We respect him, we love him. Can Muslims rise and pay a certain kind of tax to the office of the chief imam so that that tax, so-called tax, can be used to improve the lives of Zongo people? It's just a suggestion. It's just a suggestion. What is the importance of the chief imam's office? Is it for people to enter there and take pictures with chief imam and give 1 bag of rice and go away, or 1 small goat bring to chief imam and say, oh, chief imam, pacho media funchiya base with the salah na bompaya mami? No, that is not what it's supposed to be. The chief imam's office deserves more respect than goats and rice. Hey, when Salah is coming, every Tom, Dick and Harry takes a goat there. Small amount of rice, and they are taking pictures. This old man wants to rest. No! Pictures all over the place. And why? What should happen, my brother, my sister? Anybody who respects the office of the chief imam, and it doesn't matter whether it is this chief imam or another, I'm talking about the office. Can Muslims come together? Once you respect your chief imam, it's not by force. Contribute something. Go to the chief imam's office and see how much money do they have in there. You'll be shocked that if there's any money at all, it's coming from Pentecost Church. If there's any money at all, it's coming from Roman Catholic. Because Pentecost Church will go to chief imam and then, oh, thank chief imam, blah, blah, when they are going, oh, 50,000, take, this is from the Pentecost Church. Then they put it in their account. How many Muslim companies, how many Muslims contribute to the chief imam's office? As long as there is nothing like that to help boost the zongo, trust me, my brother, we will continue following order and say, Wallahi, we will continue doing that night and day. Give the chief imam's office more respect than you are giving now. So that when they say chief imam, before you come and stand, can you walk into Nanado's office, even the man who has disgraced this country, just like that and take a photograph? Can you walk into Otunfo's office and go straight away and say, you're taking a photograph with Otunfo? Can you do that? The people you say they will go to hell. They will go to hell, whatever. A lot of them are those who are contributing to the chief imam's office. True or false? Muslims need to look at that. Or else, we will continue disgracing ourselves night and day. Somebody won't understand this. Somebody by now is so angry. Wallahi, Blakk Rasta na kajeji, kai shege, I don't know why. Na kajeji, Sure. My brother, my sister, I want to leave it here, but we have a lot of work to do in this country. Until we learn to speak truth to power, religion would be our biggest bane. It will bring us back every time. The Zongo deserves better. And nobody would help the Zongo except the Zongolese. The Zongo that I come from, we used to do communal labor every time. We don't wait until Salah, Idul Adha or Idul Fitr before we enjoy. No. Okay. I leave it here, my brother, my sister. I want to thank you. I want to appreciate you. Lade. Yeah. Kai. Well, I thank you. I appreciate you. It's been the Black Pot. This is where we speak truth to power every time. It's truth to power. This is where we don't normally criticize. But if we must criticize, we only criticize to build and not to destroy. We criticize from the bottom of our hearts. No malice. Straight to the point.